I really think this whole thing has been engineered to try to get Trump out of office. Why that is, I shudder at the thought of the greater evil that is pulling the strings behind all of this and what it has in store for us all. All right, everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode live from the Lair. I've been doing my research, cruising the dark web, talking to people I know and individuals that I converse with on a regular basis on the internet, watching the news feeds. None of it looks good. In fact, the intel I'm getting, everything I'm looking at is pointing at the left pulling out all stops to include violence. Now I'm going to go through some of these steps with you and you can judge for yourself. Maybe you think I'm full of shit. That's fine. I don't care. Or maybe, perhaps, if you've been watching all my other stuff in regards to this craziness, you probably are thinking, well, he might have a little bit of insight on what's going on. Now, please go back and check out all my zombie apocalypse videos that I started making 5 years ago. Because even back then, you know, the way my mind works, I could see this coming. I just got all kinds of bad feelings about this entire craziness that's going to unfold. And also, the guys on the right, they're completely unprepared for this. The left has had years of indoc, both in grade school, middle school, high school, and college. Okay, they have set the stage in regards to communism and how America is so unfair and everybody deserves free shit and should be guaranteed an income and not have to work for it. And at the same time, shipping the jobs overseas, having these people pay large sums of money for college educations for said jobs which no longer exist. And then they throw out the victim card to them saying, hey, it's not your fault. All the jobs are gone. You can't pay back your debt. Wham. All right.
What truly makes a man wealthy? Is it money? Well, with production techniques and technology allowing humanity to extract more wealth from finite resources, the concept of wealth and money might be wilting faster than a Western woman's fertility. Aaron Clarey's new publication, Sanity is the Future of Wealth, really delves into exactly why common sense has become a superpower. Check it out right now on Amazon. A link is in the description.
As it stands now, big tech, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or I call Twatter, are actively censoring, deleting, and banning individuals who speak out against this craziness. In fact, you might not even be able to see this on YouTube. You might have to catch it on the alt-tech platforms. We're going to try to put it on YouTube. As a betting man, I would say this is going to be at a minimum demonetized, if not just removed, with or without a strike for community guidelines. But I have to do it anyway because I can't lie. I'm not good at it. And I always tell you guys the truth, or at least my truthful opinion. Now, next one. Major media. They're not even hiding it anymore. They are going full propaganda mode. This is what happens when you have all of your media, to include newspapers, magazines, radio, TV, and even the internet, owned by basically 6 corporations. The internet thing being owned by the 6 corporations, that can be debated, except for the fact that, you know, the individuals pulling the strings on the internet, there you go. All right, now, they're refusing to condemn the left as being violent, despite the fact We've had countless cities burned down, many people murdered. They're showing up at people's houses, doing all kinds of crazy shit. Okay, now, in my opinion, we have graduated from an insurrection to a low-grade shooting, revolution/civil war. That started about 6 weeks ago, and it's only going to get worse. All right, now, they're also playing the Boogeyman thing where about, oh, it's the ultra-violent right, despite the fact that they really aren't doing anything. I'm sure you've all heard, and I did a video on this, about the Michigan governor who was, there was a plot to kidnap her / do whatever. I don't know what that entailed. And it came out later that it really wasn't a right-wing militia. The people doing it were basically anarchist boogaloo boys, Black Lives Matter. But you're not hearing about that on the media, I'm telling you now. And also the media keeps pushing this COVID bullshit. All right, this has been going on since January. Where are the millions upon millions of people who should be dead by now? Anybody? They're not there. In fact, a majority of the dead are from blue states where the governors ordered that people with COVID be put in rest homes, old folks' homes, and care homes, thus decimating the older population and those with compromised immune systems. Lo and behold, doing that is bad, despite the fact that disease historically goes after the old and infirm first. Just saying. Now we have the Democratic Party, which is actively pushing to suppress the vote. Okay, they're supporting voter fraud, this mail-in ballot bullshit. Listen, we've had mail-in ballots before, but they are absentee ballots where you request them, prove who you are, you get them in the mail, send them back. There's a chain of custody. Never before have we had millions upon millions of votes sent out willy-nilly in the mail. We don't know who's filling them out. In fact, a lot of them are going to people who are dead, moved out of the state. Who knows? Some people might vote 5 or 6 times. The Democratic Party's pushing false narratives. They are all aboard this pandemic panic bullshit that's going on. In regards to even Trump, he caught the coup. The EIU is who I call it, unknown illness of unspecified origin. And he basically beat it and is now testing positive. And they used primarily all the new stuff that they've come out on how to treat this and reduce its deadliness. And rumor is he was still taking hydroxychloroquine as, a preventative measure, which I'm pretty sure assisted in making sure he got a mild case. It is what it is. I'm just saying what the rumor is on the street. You can believe me or not. Don't care. Okay, the blue states continue to push this whole COVID crap, and they're crushing their state economies, and thus dragging the rest of the United States economy down with it. I really think this whole thing has been engineered to try to get Trump out of office. Why that is, I shudder at the thought of the greater evil that is pulling the strings behind all of this and what it has in store for us all. The Dems are supporting Green New Deal, which is basically socialism in a nutshell with a blend of communism attached. There's no way you'll be able to flip to a green economy willy-nilly like that without starving an assload of people, pissing off everyone, crashing our economy. And when and if that happens, it will be bad for everyone, particularly the Dems, because they're going to get blamed for it. Okay, they're also supporting Black Lives Matter, because for a few months there, that was the lion's share of the Democratic Party's donations. because Act Blue directly funnels money from BLM to the Democratic Party. The news articles are out there. Google them, read it for yourself. And indirectly, they're supporting Antifa, which my sources are saying is the armed wing for the upcoming coup that we will possibly be facing. And I'll get to that on the next board. The Democratic Party, from what they've been doing, has basically been conducting a low-grade coup for 3+ years, using Russiagate and then COVID. Okay, and they're ignoring evidence from investigating that Hillary basically was behind the entire thing. When is she going to get the bracelets and arrested and everyone else involved in this coup? Because that's exactly what it is. This is treason, in my opinion, and should be treated as such. Okay, now we're going to get to the polls. Now, in 2016, Hillary was leading in virtually every state by almost double digits. But somehow, she got her ass kicked so hard, she is now wearing it as a hat and bitching about where her ass used to be. Just saying. But somehow, here we are in 2020, and Biden is ahead by, you guessed it, double digits. Despite the fact he was holding rallies and having between 8 and 30 people show up. And the opposition, the Trump supporters, were dwarfing the amount of people who showed up to Biden's rallies. Harris can't even pull in those kind of numbers. You know, Pence held his own rally and pulled in somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 people. Is this an illusion? I don't know. Okay, I'm not an expert on polls. I really don't know the internal workings of what they're doing. But for what I'm seeing on the ground, something just is not adding up. All of the debates were reported by major media that Trump and Pence lost them all. Okay, well, you're my audience. You watched me cover the presidential debate and the VP presidential debate. In fact, on the VP one, I used a stopwatch. And at no time did I see anything happen in those debates other than deflection, lying, attacking Trump and the Republicans. They have no platform. I mean, it just boggles the mind how anyone with two brain cells rubbed together could come up with anything other than the fact that the Democrats and Harris and Biden, they lost their ass. I don't get it. Again, I mentioned it over here, major media is now in full propaganda mode. I guess that's proof. And you could basically say the polls are as well. Okay, now we come down to the Supreme Court. Trump picked his candidate. Female, impeccable record, first in her class in law school. She's a Catholic. She has like 7 kids. She adopted 2 who are black. But yet, the Democrats and the media are attacking his pick from all sides. I'm fully expecting some kind of sexual bullshit to come out that's completely unfounded and unprovable to try to, slow this whole process up. I hope it doesn't happen, but as a betting man, there you go. Let's see. The Dems aren't really doing anything in regards to this, but stalling and trying to make this go in, after the election. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Okay. Biden and Harris refused to answer the question if they would pack the Supreme Court if they were elected, which means they are going to do that. That will dilute the Supreme Court to the point of it being basically feckless, destroying our third pillar of government, weakening the government overall which will take us down a dark road in the future, if not immediately. Let's see. My predictions. Here we go. All right, now the word on the street is there are organizations on the move to do bad stuff shortly before and after the election, no matter who wins. No matter who wins. All right? The ultra-left don't give a shit about the Democrats or the Republicans. They want to burn the whole system to the ground. What does that entail? Well, basically, 100% unemployment, reshuffling of all of the assets, zeroing out our currency, and starving a bunch of people, no medicine for anyone. Basically, Venezuela, because that's what that entails, burning it all down to the ground. Okay, and the right will have to play catch up to try to undo all that if they are successful, which I hope they are not. I hope it doesn't come to pass, but from what I've been able to see, craziness probably is going to ensue. I am predicting massive amounts of voter fraud to be detected. Some of it will be stopped, some of it won't, and there will be massive lawsuits in regards to this. Like I said before, there will be riots, no matter what. There'll be a lot of blocking traffic, and the blue states are going to have it worse, to include general violence, attack on federal installations, courthouses, and what have you. Now, in my opinion, they should probably go after family court because they have basically a large amount of responsibility for the craziness that has taken place in our civilization over the past 40 years. But BLM and the left is blind to that. Go figure. All right, I'm expecting assassination attempts. These will take place on Republicans in office, police, judges, and perhaps they'll go after the big kahuna and the second in command himself. So, you better be on your toes. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get lively up in here. All right, there will be attacks on the wealthy. All right, Antifa, BLM, the left, they have no love for the wealthy, to include billionaires. No matter how much money they have donated to BLM, they have not removed the bullseye from their chest. And I don't care how much money you have, even if you have a private army, no one is beyond reproach. Things may happen either during or before, during, or shortly after the election. I would expect this to take place. I am expecting suburb incursions, especially in blue states. Cops are not going to save you. In fact, there are Supreme Court judgments stating the police have basically no obligation to protect you or your property. So I guess that's why the Second Amendment exists. I'm expecting direct attacks. I'm expecting attacks on polling stations during the election. Because what better way to stop people from voting than to attack the polling station itself? Overwhelm the police. All bets are off. All you really got to do is take out 2 to 4 police in any department. You pretty much cripple them. You can do whatever you want and perhaps even get away with it. Now, I hope that doesn't happen, but my gut feeling is you can expect this. I hope it, like I said, I don't condone violence. I hope it doesn't happen. This is just my gut feeling, in my opinion. All right, there will be massive lawsuits that may go on for months, especially if one side does not concede. This will help basically inflame violence, riots, assassinations, incursions, the whole deal. It's only going to make it worse. Also, word on the street is they can expect a direct attack on Washington, D.C. itself. So if people were smart, they would activate National Guard units probably a good 5 to 10 days prior to the elections and having them on standby, because that goes a long way to preventing craziness. Now, I hope none of this comes to pass, but in my professional opinion, from all the pieces that are on the table and all of the shit that's basically going to come to light, they really have no choice but to do something like this, or to at least try.